Look at all this motherfucking construction that these little bitches is doing in my park. Like, this shit is retarded. Do you see this shit? All this fucking construction. A nigga can't go and sit down in this park and just go do a video. But no, because they fixing the motherfucker for me. Ain't this some motherfucking shit? But anyway, this has been brought to my attention. Well, it hasn't just been brought to my attention, but it's been brought to my attention that, you know, I seen some compare. Ooh, someone was about to get fucked up. But no, it's been brought to my attention, and you know, I've been doing some comparison type things, and you know, when Galactic Overlord comes out, the game in the meta is going to change because, you know, it introduces the rest of the Gishki stuff that come out, and with the Hieratic dragons, shit, what else comes out? And damn, there's another fucking card I wanted to say. Another art type that comes out. I don't want to say it, but I forgot. But it's irrelevant anyway. And you know, when the Gishkis come out, I think the gameplay and the meta is going to change to a lot more hand advantage, a lot more basis. You know, talking or knowing about your hand advantage, knowing what your opponent has in his hand, and just really disrupting a lot of plays that, you know, your opponent can make. Because, you know, comparing, you know, some of the cards in the Gishki deck to, you know, to the Dark World deck that won Long Beach, you know, with 3 drag downs and 2 mind crush, you know, that really tore apart opponents' hands, and, you know, it really disrupted a lot of plays, and, you know, it just did a bunch of monotonous shit. In my opinion, I think that Gishkis will be tier 1 because of some of the trap support and spell support that the Gishkis have. For instance, contact with the Aqua Mirror. It has 2 effects, and you can either activate one or the other effect if you control a water monster, or you can get both of the effects if you have a ritual monster on the field. And you know, and the effects are, you can look at, one of the effects is you can look at your opponent's spell or trap card zone, and the other effect allows you to look at the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. So, you know, think about it. You chain that with Mind Crush, and you got a problem. You know, you're going to know what your opponent has set on the field, and you know that, and you're going to know what your opponent is going to draw come next turn. So you can set a Mind Crush, and then, you know, they draw the cards, their standby phase come through, boom, you just activate Mind Crush. I mean, what they gonna do? I mean, this shit's retarded. And, you know, and another card that you can most likely play is Spiritual Water Art. Spiritual Water Art allows you to completely look into your opponent's hand and pick a card to send to the graveyard. And it's, and you know, and then they have another spell card that was suggested on Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia that you could run with the deck, and that's DD Designator, I think that's how you say it. And that spell card is it's kind of like Trap Dust Shoot, but only if you call the card right, that you know, that you think your opponent has in his hand, they remove all copies of that card from play. Now, mind you, you can run 3 of this card, just like you can run 3 of Spiritual Water Art and 3 Contact with the Aqua Mirror. Now, what this card does is, you know, remove shit from play. In theory, this card is way better than Trap Dust Shoot, Spiritual Water Art, and even Drag Down to the Grave. I mean, you know, considering if you're running Spiritual Water Art and Contact with the Aqua Mirror, there is no reason on why you should ever call the card wrong. You know what I'm saying? You already know what your opponent has in their hand. You can't be that much of a burnout if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, yeah, if you are a burnout, that must mean that you suck and you aren't really fluent with the game, and you're just so fucking burnt that you just need to give up the gameplay because you burnt all your motherfucking brain cells, you retarded stupid bitch, for not being able to remember something for what, 5 minutes max maybe. And you know, and a lot of the Gishki cards do the same thing. You know, Gust Crate, it comes out, it'll be released in Galactic Overlord, and Evi Gishki Gust Crate, you know, when it's synchro, still thinking about synchros, when it's ritual summoned, you can look up to 2 random cards in your opponent's hand. So there's no reason on why you should not know what your opponent has in his hand. Especially, you know, most of the Gishki rituals that are going to be released, you know, when they do something, whether if it's attack or they get summoned to the field, or, you know, if it's just a random ass effect, you know, the cards, you know, you look into your hand. Like, I know there's another ritual that when you attack, and just for declaring attack, you draw a card, and if that card's a Gishki monster, you can shuffle 1 random card in your opponent's hand back to the deck. Well, that's pretty crucial, especially if you hit something like, say for instance, a Dark Arm. Like, say you pick the Dark Arm out, well, maybe they was going to be able to make a play next turn with that Dark Arm. Yeah, I know they get another chance of drawing it again, but you know, there's always that chance that they not be able, you know, they draw something that they can't really use come that following turn. In my opinion, I think when Gishkis come out, Gishkis are going to be Tier 1. I mean, just to think about it, you know, with all the hand destruction that you can do with the Gishkis, like, you can really leave your opponent with no hand. You know what I mean? And you can really fuck your opponent over with Mind Crush and DD Designate and Designer. Now, the downside with the DD card, the DD spell card, it's that it's not a quick play, so you can't really activate it during your opponent's turn. You know, give or take that you got, you know, Spiritual Water Art and Mind Crush that you can activate during your opponent's turn. But also, you know, if the DD Designer was a quick play spell, then wow, that's all I gotta say is wow. That'd be a real broke ass card, and it'd be broke as shit. I think Gishkis is really going to change the way of how the game is played. And like, when all the Gishki stuff come out, I'm not gonna give a fuck about the wind up loop, considering, you know, if you go up against wind-ups and they do loop you first turn. Let's say, for instance, you know, you lose 4 cards. Well, one of those 4 cards, you know, could be a Gishki Aqua, or be Aquamir, the main ritual spell card, and, you know, a ritual monster. Well, I mean, with the Aquamir, it recycles itself back to the deck, and your ritual monster comes back to your hand. So, I mean, you're not really losing too much if wind-ups loop you. The only real deck that I think you would still have problems with would be Inzectors, you know, because how their fucking OTK loop goes, they destroy a lot of shit, and you can really, and Inzectors can really destroy your opponent's fucking field, and that's really fucked up. And I think that Konami really needs to do something about Inzectors. I mean, considering that, you know, they keep bringing out all the giving Inzector shit. Well, how it looks like and how it's been looking, you know, and you know, different ban lists that's came out and different things that have happened before, you know, most archetypes that they keep giving shit to, they keep giving them shit because most shit that's out right now is probably either going to get limited or banned. So you really just gotta wait until the next format comes out, and, you know, to see what there's going to hit. I mean, because obviously Konami is going to do something about Inzectors and wind-ups, you know, because Konami obviously wants you to buy their product and, you know, play the way that they want you to play. Yeah, you'll still be able to use the Zectors, and yeah, you'll still be able to use wind-ups and all the other bullshit, but, you know, other shit will have to get limited or banned, you know, in order for you to be able to play, to make all the other decks that they have coming out more playable, more splashable, maybe with other things. So the gameplay and the meta, from what it looks like from my point of view, it looks like it's just going to be turned into a hand advantage deck and really destroying your opponent's hand. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at Dark Worlds, for instance. They have all that fucking draw power. They run fucking Reckless Greeds, Drag Downs, Upstarts, Dark World Dealings, you know, the Brows, you know. So, I mean, they have a lot of draw power, and they maintain hand advantage like a motherfucker. So, I mean, obviously, you know, that's what's going to I mean, that's how it looks like from what it, you know, with the other archetypes that's coming out. You know, Dragunities with the Hieratic dragons, you can get a little bit more of a boost, and, you know, with the special summon and especially the Hieratic dragon that special summons dragons from your deck, it really looks like, you know, you can do a lot more with some of your other old Dragunity tuners that you don't really use that much, and you could probably utilize a lot better in the deck now. It would be probably a lot more, you get a lot more playtime and use out of it, is Dragon Mastery. And so, you know, I don't know, I've been playtesting on Dueling Network with Dragon Mastery and a few of the Hieratic Exceed monsters that are going to be released in Galactic Overlord, and, you know, it really does, and they really do improve the speed and the consistency of the Dragunity deck. Now, I'm not saying that the deck with the combination of the Heretics are going to be tier. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that they are going to be tier. I'm not real sure on, I haven't really had a chance to go up against, you know, the top tier decks with the deck to see how much of pluses you can get and how easy it is that you would get stopped or whatnot. But for the most part, you know, certain things happen and certain other things go on that, you know, may give the deck a lot more speed and make it a lot more playable, and maybe a lot more people will start playing Dragunities more or not. I mean, because a few people at my locals was trying to get some of my Dragunity stuff off me, but I can't let it go because that's just a deck that I can't just depart with, and I really do like Dragunities a lot, and I look for different combos every chance that I get, every new set that comes out. So I just look for that sort of thing and see what can be used and what can't be used in Dragunities. And Gishkis will probably be another deck once I get done building the deck and putting it together. That'll probably be another deck that I just can't depart with. I mean, because, you know what I'm saying, I like water. I've always had a thing for water archetypes, especially, you know, when Deep Sea Diva came out, and, you know, I thought that fucker was the coolest shit. I mean, yeah, it's a cheap tour guide, but I like it. I mean, it's the shit, and, you know, I've always had a thing for fish type monsters, you know, considering, you know, pussy is fish, tuna, whatever, you know, pussy, fish, you know, that sort of thing. But, you know, tell me what you guys think, and I really want to know what you guys think about the Gishkis, and whether or not, if you think that they can be tier or not. Alright, thanks for watching, and like, comment, and sub.